and welcome to Sweet Kisses and Dirty Dishes. Today on Deborah in the Slaughterhouse, okay, actually, no, on Real Food Simplified, I'm showing you how to cut up chickens. Obviously, I am very sorry for anybody who's a little squeamish and this is bothersome for them. When you go to local pastured chickens, oftentimes the only chickens that you can find are, do you have my face? So, often when you go to local pastured chickens, the only chickens you can find are whole chickens, and they can be a little intimidating. And I can make a really good roasted chicken, but every so often I really want to be able to have chicken tenderloins, chicken legs, chicken thighs, etc., etc. I love all those different cuts of meat. You can get fairly decent cuts of meats, like at the store and everything, even if you don't mind not having the local pastured, or sometimes even you can get local pastured from farms, but the price is extremely high. So this is the way that I really stretch our budget as far as chickens go. I have 8 chickens that I'm cutting up today. I got 10, but I saved 2 to be roasted whole. I'm gonna show you how to cut it up into chicken tenderloins, chicken legs, chicken thighs, and both of these are chicken thighs, chicken wingettes, and cut the first and second joints off, and then boneless chicken breast with the skin on, because skin is amazing and I think it's a terrible thing to waste. Later, if you need it to be boneless, skinless, you can just kind of take it off. It's super easy. Alright, so we have a whole chicken here, and I'm going to cut it up for you. Inside of the chicken, sometimes you will have livers and hearts, kidneys and everything, just the giblets. You can save those and just make like a chicken offal meal if you feel like. And these chickens, only a few of them had them, so that's why I only have a couple. It does have the necks though. I'm gonna put the necks in just a pot that I'm going to go ahead and start as stock tonight with just all those random pieces that I don't feel like putting in the freezer. Okay, first things first, cutting off the wings. I'm going to lift the chicken up to let gravity help me. Right here, you can see, boop, doop, 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 doop. This is where the bone is. So it is always easiest to go inside the joint and go from there. So, wing off, one wing. This would be easier if I had a better boning knife, but I don't have that great of a knife. So, and I'm kind of inexperienced with it, but I do know how to do it, and it is well worth the time for me. Okay, so now to cut up the wings. The tips, they're not great for much other than stock, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut them off and stick them in my stock pot. This part is just kind of easier to go through instead of around the bone, so that's why I have the chef's knife. Okay, so now we are going to cut the wings apart. I'm gonna show you again. Here's where the bone is, right here. So you can see that you have the meat from the upper and the lower part. Not sure what they're called, probably should. Like I said, it's easier to go on the inside of the joint and go down. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like together and what it looks like apart. So it'll take you a few times probably to learn where the bones are. I've done this a couple times where this is the 3rd time of doing it where I've had lots of chickens and I already know at least a little bit. So it shouldn't take you too long. Next thing, we are going to remove the chicken leg quarters, okay? Once again, I'm going to let gravity help me and I'm gonna go in here and try not to get some of the breast skin. I'm going to slice right here, okay? And just, sorry about that, we had camera problems, so we are back where we started. You wanna just go back to the chicken hen? I just sliced down the skin on either side of the chicken leg quarter. Now I'm going to pop out the bone. There we go. See that? Pop the bone out. And I'm going to cut this chicken thigh off. All right, you don't want to, there's some beautiful meat over here that you don't want to miss. I think it's called the oyster. You see, can you see that bump? We're gonna get that whole bit of meat. And we're gonna come back up, go over this bone that's right here, and then go back down and make sure we get any meat on the other side of the bone too. Don't wanna waste that meat. Okay, to separate, you can leave this as it is and just, it's good for oven fried chicken, but to separate the thigh from the leg quarters, it's going to, there's a piece of fat right here that shows you where the bone is, okay? And if you see up here, we have some thick skin and some thinner skin, and there's like this ridge of skin. You're gonna have a little bit of the ridge of skin on the bone. It's gonna be right here. One thing, if you're having to saw, you're in the wrong place. It should, oh dear, like I just said. Okay, there you go. If you're having to saw back and forth, you're in the wrong place. It should slice apart pretty easily. It's like a few times to learn. Obviously, I still don't know it. Put the thighs over here, chicken bone right there, chicken drumstick. Ooh, might need a chicken drumstick plate. All right, there we go. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Use the gravity to help me. Cut the skin down, pop the bone out, and cut on either side. Come up, go down. Slice in half. Okay. Next comes the chicken breast. Okay, I'm gonna smooth the chicken skin to make sure I don't have like it all messed up and everything. I'm gonna go ahead and cut down it. Ugh. Need a new boning knife. Okay. And there is the breastbone. Excuse me, it's late. We're just gonna cut on the side of it and start taking the meat back. After you go in for a little bit, there's gonna be a strip of meat that might separate. I usually leave that on. This is actually the chicken tender. And since the chicken tender is like the best cut of meat on the breast, I like to separate it from the breastbone, or from the breast meat. You can take it all at the same time and just leave it as part as the breast, but I think that's a waste of a prime cut of meat. So I'm going to go ahead and further slice this off. Come over here. What is going on there? Oh, it's trying to go through bone. Do not suggest that. Once again, there's a line of fat that we're just gonna follow. Ta-da! Chicken breast. To get the chicken tenderloin off, I usually just go halfway through, go down one side, come down the other. This is my favorite piece of chicken meat ever. And buying those from the store is super expensive. So that's why I don't leave it with the chicken breast, just because I think it's a waste of such a phenomenal piece of meat to be cooked like you would chicken breast. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this. I'm pretty sloppy with the chicken breast, but I will continue learning, and I'm fine with that. Oops, going down a bone. Down this meat. And once again, remove the tenderloin. Oops, I couldn't push this tenderloin up. Poor chicken. Okay, so there is some meat left, not a whole lot. I'm gonna make sure I don't even waste this when I cook stock from this carcass. Afterwards, I'm gonna go ahead and take the meat off. There's not a whole lot of flavor in that meat, but if I keep it with something that has stock in it, you get the flavor plus the gelatin plus the meat. I am putting 2 carcasses per bag so I can make stock later down the road. All right, that is how you cut up chickens.